And the Lord appeared to Abraham, in the plains of Mamre. And he was sitting in the tent door because it was really hot. And he lifted up his eyes and looked. And there were three men, standing by him. So he ran from the tent door to greet them. And he bowed to the ground and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in your sight, do not pass by, please, but stay for a little water, and let me bring them to wash your feet, and you can rest yourselves under the tree, and I shall get a morsel of bread and comfort your hearts for you, and that you can pass on afterwards. For isn't that why you've come to your servant? And they said, So do as you have said. And Abraham hastened into the tent to Sarah and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes. And Abraham ran to the herd and fetched a good tender calf and gave it to a young man who hastened to dress it. And he took butter, milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they ate. So they said to him, Where is Sarah your wife? And he said, There in the tent. And he said, I shall certainly return to you at this time next year, and see Sarah your wife will have a son. And Sarah was listening at the tent door behind Abraham. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well up in the age, and the manner of women had ceased to be with Sarah. Sarah had long since passed menopause. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself and after I've grown old, will I actually have pleasure with my Lord also being so old? And the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Will I, who am of oldness, surely bear a child? Is there anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I shall return to you about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. Then Sarah put out her head now and says, I did not laugh, because she was afraid. And he said, Oh no, but you did laugh. And the men rose up from there and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Will I hide from Abraham that thing which I am about to do, seeing that you will surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed in you? For I know that you will command your children and your household after you, and they will keep the way of the Lord to do acts of loving kindness and judgment. So the Lord may bring upon you, Abraham, that which I have spoken of you. So the Lord decided to go ahead and tell him, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I shall go down and see whether they have done everything I told them, which has come to me, and if not, I shall know. And the men turned their faces from there and went toward Sodom. But Abraham still stood before the Lord. And they came near him and said, Will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? If there are 50 righteous within the city, will you also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are there? Far be it from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be like the wicked. Far be that from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I shall spare the entire place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I, who am but dust and ashes, have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. If by chance there will lack 5 of the 50 righteous, will you destroy the whole city for the lack of 5? And he said, If I find 45 there, I won't destroy it. So Abraham says yet again to the Lord, If by chance there will be 40 found there. And God said, I shall not do it for 40's sake. And he said to him, Oh, do not let the Lord be angry, and I shall speak once again. If by chance 30 be found there. And the Lord's like, I won't do it if I find 30 there. And so Abraham said, Well, now, I've taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. If by chance 20 will be found there. And the Lord said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And Abraham is still going on. Oh, please, let not the Lord be angry, and I shall speak yet but this once. If by chance 10 will be found there. And the Lord said, I shall not destroy it for 10's sake. And then the Lord went his way as soon as he had left speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his own place.